this is traffic coming from outside, okay, and this is traffic going outside, okay. So when we talk about, you know, stateful, okay, when we talk about the stateful, what happens over here, like the traffic which is going from here, and then the traffic which is going outside, every traffic will going to be get monitored by security group, okay. So decide which traffic can go inside these two instances and which traffic goes outside the instances. So this is what group security group does, okay. This is what security group does. So over here we're gonna check, okay, over here if we're gonna check, and over here it will gonna check, okay. So both the time we're gonna check like what traffic going inside and what traffic going outside. This is about the security group. But in the case of, you know, the stateless, so it was just gonna check for one time only, okay. For example, like this is your VPC, for example, okay, or your network, and just going to check over here one time, okay, the firewalls, and once it is done it's just going to outside. So this is how the things will gonna look like. So one time we're gonna check, and once it is allowed, then it can go back to that from where that traffic is coming from, okay. So for example, there's one user or one application or any other services who oh, just a second, I am getting some disturbance in between. So if anybody having, you know, uh unmuted, just muted because, you know, some voice is coming in between, okay. Thank you for, okay. So this is what it is, the stateless one. So once it is get checked, so next time we're gonna not gonna check that thing, okay, that for that particular request, okay, just gonna check for one time, okay. So it's just gonna check for one time, and then from where the traffic coming from, this is going to send that traffic back over there, okay. So this is what it does, the stateless one, okay. And now we're here, yeah. So these are the two mechanisms which you can follow, and from here you can set up very easily the security group and the NECL. Or you can just click VPC over here, you will go to get the settings. You can just go to the VPC, and on left hand side you're going to get the option for security groups and NECL. So security group, you can see that definition which offers security group acts as a virtual firewall that controls the traffic for one or more instances. When you launch an instance, you can specify one or more security group. So this is what security group does. You can modify the rules for security group at any time, and the new security groups are automatically applied to all the instances which are associated with. So when we decide whether to allow traffic to reach instance, we evaluate all the rules from all the security groups that are associated with that instance. This is how the things are going to look like, okay. And if you go for NECL, NECL is a, you know, firewall for the at subnet level. So NECL is an optional layer for security for your VPC that acts as a firewall for controlling traffic in or out for or one or more subnets. So you can decide the subnets. Okay, for example, these are the NECL, and this is the third area which I have given over here. Let me just go over here where we have multiple subnets. Okay, so over here you can see this is two inbound rule, this is two outbound rule. Okay, here six subnets are associated with particular this NECL, and you can see the one which having the low number will going to be at higher priority. And here two rules are given, here two rules are given, one for all traffic allowed and one for all traffic deny, okay. So one with having a rule number lower, it goes at top and have high priority, so that's why it is being followed, and this is not being followed, okay. So if you're going to create, for example, any NECL, for example, you can just go over here, my NACL. Okay, and you can just choose a VPC. Example, this is the VPC which I created. I created the NACL. So if you go, this is what I have created. So by default, only one inbound rule is there. You can see all traffic denied. So as soon as I have configured this NACL to my VPC, now whatever traffic who wants to enter inside my VPC cannot do that, because at subnet level I have, make it denied. So in order to make sure that all the traffic comes in, you have to create a new rule on top of it with high priority, and then it's going to be take consideration. Okay, so this is how NACL thing work. It is a firewall at subnet level, and this is firewall at instance level. Instance can be your EC2, your RDS instances, whatever. So this is what it will gonna look like. Okay, and there's one more point which is mentioned, and it's pretty important to consider this one. Like, use private subnet for sensitive services. Okay, so for example, the database where all the information will going to be get stored. So what you can do in that condition, you can just make sure like that database is running in some private subnets. Okay, for example, this is your VPC. Okay, this is your VPC. If you just write it VPC over here, VPC, and we have the internet gateway. Oh, I'm very much bad in drawing. So this is internet gateway. Through internet gateway you get inside the VPC. Okay, now once the traffic is coming in, you can see once the traffic is coming in inside the VPC through internet gateway, there is some route table is there. Okay, this is the route table. So this is a route table which is there, and this route table will going to decide where the traffic will gonna go. So you have public subnet, you have one more public subnet, and you have one private subnet. So for example, this is public subnet. Okay, this is public subnet, and this is private subnet. So each subnet can have their own CIDR, whatever. So over here, like in the public subnet, you can run those instances. Like for example, this is EC2 instances which you are running over there. This EC2 instances where your application is running, it is running in public subnets, which means the outside traffic can access this EC2 instances. Okay, now if the database, which for example you have RDS database, so what you can do, you can just run that RDS database over here in private subnet. Okay, so and then connect your EC2 instances to this RDS to do the CRUD operations or whatever you want to do that. So there's one diagram which you can see, much better diagram. And over here, AWS VPC private subnet, something like that, you can just write in and you're going to get the things. You can just go over here, and over here this is not there telling about the database. So let me just write for database over here, any database it could be. Yeah, over here this diagram looks much better. So over here you can see this diagram tells you what exactly it is. So you got a VPC. Okay, two LT zones which and two subnets, with one is two public and two private subnets. And private, you are running your database, and you can see for security group, this is a firewall for both of them. Both of them are instances. So this is how the things going to look like. The through internet gateway, the traffic goes inside, uh, and the application where it is running inside the public segment, and then do whatever operation it does, and it stores all those information in the database which are running the private subnet. So just remember, any uh, sensitive services which you are running should be running in the private subnet. One more thing which you can consider, which is VPC flow logs to monitor the network traffic. So again, this is one sample which you can consider. Like once you have created, by default it is not enabled, so you have to create one. Okay, so you have to create one, this VPC flow log, and what it does, whatever traffic is going inside or outside, it's just going to record each and everything. And it's very much important to do like in order to look after if any malicious activities happening or not. Okay, so VPC flow log will gonna help you to do so. It's something which you can consider. And in order to create the VPC flow log, it is super easy. Like you can just select whatever VPC you are having, and then there's an option like flow log. Okay, right before it is not created, so you can create one. You can just give any name and the interval which you want to record the packet, and then put it inside the log, whether you can go with the 10-minute or you can go with the 1 minute, and what kind of traffic, all the traffic which is accepted, uh, or all the traffic which is rejected, or all the traffic accept and reject all of them. So this is how the things will look like. This is, you can see over here, accept traffic is also there, and some reject traffic is also there, with the information about their network interface, the IP address, the port number, and ways of the informations are coming in. Okay, so this is how the things will gonna look like. So where you want to store those data, so either you can send those data to Amazon S3 bucket, okay, or you can just store them into the firehouse, data firehouse, so that you can do further investigation. Okay, firehouse helps you to collect the data from different places, and then you can connect the firehouse with QuickSight, Athena with QuickSight, to do, analysis on whatever data you have collected from various location. So firehouse is very much pretty important services when it comes to the data analysis. So here options are there: send to CloudWatch logs, or send to the Amazon S3 bucket, or data firehouse. So whatever you want to go with, you can just choose accordingly. For example, if you want to choose S3 bucket, you have to write the S3 bucket and what format you want to store that data. So the custom format you can select, like account ID you want, action you want, and ability zone, bytes. Here's so many informations out there. You can just choose accordingly, and then those piece of information are going to come in this way. Okay, and in which format you are looking for, Parquet or text. For most of the, when we do the data analysis, we prefer the Parquet, the one of the most preferable one, but you can choose accordingly. At the end, all those log files will going to be get compressed through gzip process. Okay, and this is how you can create the whole thing. So it's super easy to do, so it's not that much difficult. Just going to start taking the record. Okay, like flow logs can capture the IP traffic flow information for the network interface associated with your resource. You can create multiple flow logs to send traffic to different destinations. So this is also can be done. Okay, so in one, you can create separate one for all the traffic which is rejected, and you can also look after like what are the traffics that are being rejected. Okay, if any legitimate traffic is being rejected, so you can also analyze over there and then take the actions. Okay, makes the changes in the configuration, so that all in future the such traffic can be accepted, can go inside your VPC, because those are legitimate one. So VPC flow logs helps you, um, to monitor the network traffic. Okay, to know what traffic is going inside uh, your VPC. This is how it will gonna look like. Now, here we talk about how you can secure different things. We talk about uh, how you can secure your network, how you can secure your storage. There are so many other things as well. It's not like that the story ends over here, like whatever I discussed. There are so many other things out there, but I just mentioned those things which we do in general. Okay, so if you go over here and then inside the security, identity, and compliance, over here you can find so many services related to it. So we talk about the secret manager, okay, which is very much important. Okay, then there is IAM, which we talk about. Okay, then we have talked about we have talked about, I think, two things we have talked about as of now. The things which you can see inside this particular category. Other than that, like some services which you can consider, which is important. One is WAF and Shield. I've told this thing yesterday only. Like WAF is a web application firewall. So there are three firewalls I have talked about right now. One is, like one is going to work at subnet level. Okay, like let me just write in this way. This is your public subnet. This is your public subnet. Okay, where EC2 instance is running, and then over here you have the So this green color is your security group. Okay, this is your security group. So one is working at subnet level, one is working at uh you know at instance level. If you just create one more box so that you can understand much better way. So over here it goes at top. So this one is the NACL. Okay, this is NACL, you can say. Now other than that, you can have a firewall over here as well. Okay, the application. So this, for this application you can have another firewall. This is for instance the security group, and for application you can have one. You can create, and again, one more box over here which will going to act as a, I'll just change the color. Yeah, this will going to be act as a, you can just understand, like over here that application is, this is the WAF. Okay, so this is how the things are going to look like at subnet level, at instance level, and an application level, that all layers of firewalls. Okay, and then you got the shield. Again, it is over there only. Shield protects from the DDoS attack. DDoS is like where malicious, or you can say the sometimes we call it as a bot attack, like not the real traffic. Okay, and all the fake traffic coming in bombardment, like a
Okay.
large amount of uh, fake traffic coming in, the bot traffic coming in and hit your application. So what happens if you have mm, you know plan for that situation, like you're just going to scale up the application. So it's just going to not the right way to do the to take the action. If you know it that the traffic which is coming in which is fake, so why to accept them? So you can just use the shield over there in order to protect from the malicious traffic which is trying to enter your application. Okay, so this is something which can be done easily with the help of WAF and shield. Okay, other than that, these are some other services related to the security. And one more important services which you should be aware of, like RAM is also very much important. Like, but we have not discussed about the organizations, it's just going to make you confused. uh, so in organization what happens is, like, you got different AWS account and they have their own services, so you want to share those services. So we use RAM. So we have not discussed about RAM, so I'm not going to touch this thing. And then you got Messi. Messi is a pretty important service, and it helps you to follow the compliance. Okay, now, what kind of compliance? Let me tell you. Like, uh, you cannot, for example, you don't want. See, it is one of the important thing to remember. Never ever store the personal identifying information and you know uh in an unprotected way. Okay, it's very much important to do so. So if you know, like, this particular data have some sort of personal information, then it's just going to detect and let you know, and then you can take the actions accordingly. So Messi is pretty important. Okay, if you want to see the image of Messi AWS, you're going to know about what exactly you're going to do. So you're just going to look for the all the sensitive data which it can have, like sensitive data, as I mentioned, the PII. Okay, or PHI. Okay, PII or consist of your name, your email address, your home address, your phone number, your birth date. All those information comes under the PII. And then you have some PHI informations as well. So in order to follow the compliance like HIPAA and GDPR, you have to make sure, like, uh, those data are being protected. Okay, are in the right way, are stored in the right way. Okay, so this is how the Messi will going to take the place. So what it does, it uses the machine learning and pattern matching to identify and classify all those sensitive data. And once it is done, it will going to help you to make sure you following all the compliances. And it can help you to automate the data production. Okay, by identify the potential vulnerabilities which can cause. Okay, so for security part, the data security portion with such services is pretty important. So this is how you can consider using AWS Messi. This services is not free, so you have to make sure uh, just use it and then delete the services. Other than Messi, we have you can see, you can open the console and over here. Other than messy, if you're gonna check, we have KMS. Okay, we have talked about KMS also before. We have inspector. Now what is the inspector is? So inspector already know about different kind of vulnerabilities which can happen. Okay, so for all those services to learn more in detail, what you can consider, like I have already created one GitHub repo from where you can pull out those information. So you can just go my repository, and over there you can just search for AWS SAA, and over there you can get that information. Like I think in week 7 I've talked about that, or in week 8 I've talked about that. So now maybe week 6, maybe, yeah, week 6 I've talked about. So over here, here you can get the information about AWS Shield, and then you're going to get the information about Messi, the KMS, and then inspector. For example, guard duties is pretty important, so you can just get all those informations over there, and you can just simply download over there. So for example, this inspector one, you can just check it out over here what it contains. So over here, you're just going to get all the summarized note. So it's a cloud-based security assessment service, which is offered by AWS, which improve the security and compliance of application deployed on AWS infrastructure. Okay, so you can see it can identify the potential security vulnerability which can be happen. Okay, for your EC2, for your Lambda, for other compute services, and tell you the all the findings, and then you can take the actions. So this is how the things can be done. Okay, the inspector. Okay, inspector is pretty important tool to consider. And other than that, you got the guard duty. Guard duty is something which is again the security feature of AWS. And I'm just getting some disturbance in background sometimes. uh somebody's saying something I can see. uh just a second. Can just do the mute. Okay, let's go. uh yeah. So over here, from here we can get all those informations from there. Okay, the nodes. Okay, now this is for guard duty. Guard duty is useful in doing the continuous threat detection for your AWS environment. Okay, so it's just going to monitor continuously your CloudTrail records, your other, just going to integrate it with other, third party applications. Okay, so guard duties will going to help you to make sure if some sort of malicious activity we found them, then you can take actions accordingly. So it uses the CloudTrail, which have all the information about the APIs, calls which you have done so far, whatever interaction you have had with AWS, and whatever services you have used. VPC flow logs we have just discussed about. It contains all the information about the traffic which going inside outside your VPC, and then the DNS is going to logs are going to help you to monitor all kind of DNS queries has been taken so play. So this all the information God duty will going to consider and then take the action. Okay, so it's just going to give you the findings if it found some problem in your port, unauthorized access is being attempted, or any other kind of vulnerability with their severity levels. You can take the actions accordingly. So these are the services which are pretty important, okay, which you can consider for enhancing the security. Now if you go other than that, you got the firewall manager. This is a center management for access, managing all kind of firewalls. Okay, so these are different other security services which you can consider. For example, like you got the artifact. Again, it is used for the all kind of compliances which you have to met. So when you are working, when you are doing some business, you have to make sure your applications, your platforms is following all kind of compliances. From here you can get all those reports, and then you got some other things over here which you can consider. Okay, now other than that, we have uh yes, as I mentioned, like either you can use the guard duty for doing such thing, or you can use by yourself the CloudTrail, which tracks API calls across API services. Let me show you how this will gonna look like. You just simply search Cloud Trail, and you can track each and everything like user activity, API activity which has been taking place. So over here, you can even create your own trail, which I have not created as of now, but you can get all the event history over here. So you can see I have created the network echo today. Before that, I have created some keys. Here you can see some trust advisor look into, like, is there any recommendation is there or not. Other than that, you can just scroll down and then you're going to get the things. Okay, like over here, uh, you can just clear the filters and it's just going to give you all the piece of information. So I just want to have, this is all the information which is coming over here, like describe VPC endpoints, internet gateway. This is something which we have touched right now. So all the things are showing over here. Okay. So this is how you can get the things. Okay. This is how you can get the things. So event history, which like this cloud trail, will going to give you all the informations which you have, you know, did with with the AWS. Like it's just going to store, track every interaction which you had with the AWS, and it's very much important. Sometimes what we do, we use the guard duty, and it's just going to look into all your activities because it will be in large number such records, such events. So it's just going to look into it and then take the action. Okay. So guard duty uses the machine learning for doing so. So you can leverage guard duty over there instead of doing by yourself. You can use such services to take action. Or some third-party services are also available outside AWS. Okay, guard duty is an in-house service of AWS which you can consider. But other than that, there are some other services which you can also consider for doing the same. So this is trail. For example, if you want to create a trail, it's super easy to create one. So you can just write anything like that, like my test trail, something like that, and you can just create a new S3 bucket to store all those pieces of information. If you want to log files for all the encryption taking place, you can also do that. Here you have to choose uh, either choose the existing KMS key or the new one. So let me just choose a new one, or you can just simply disable if you don't want to. And over there, what else, SMS notification delivery you can also do, like whenever they're recording they're just going to send you some sort of notification. But again, I'm just leaving that apart. This is the whole thing, and then you can just go over here, click on next. So it is just going to record everything. Also, other than that, you can also look after the management events which takes place, data events if you want to. So these are different events which you can put into your trail. Okay, read, write, and then next. And then this is how you can create one. Just click on create trail and it is now created. So it's not that much difficult to create one trail. And now it's just going to start going to record everything whatever you're going to do that. Okay, so trails are pretty important. Okay, so that you can look into uh, all the event which has taken place inside your AWS. Now other than trail, you have the CloudWatch. I hope so I have mentioned. Oh, config I've mentioned. Now config is very much again important, which we're going to record all the configuration changes which you will going to take place inside the AWS. Okay, so config is again another important tool to consider. AWS config. Let me see some sort of image which I can show you. Uh, Basically, if you're going to uh, uh, maintain the resource inventory, take the example of library. In library we have large amount of books out there. Okay, so in library it also have the information about the books which it has, and information about the author, the information about the publication date, whatever. If some new uh, version of the book has been published, they were just going to drop the older one or maintain the older one with the latest one also. So this is what happen in the library. Okay, so config does the same thing just like a library. Okay, just like the library manager, you can say, or library. So just going to track whatever resources you are having inside the AWS. It's going to audit and evaluate all kind of compliances, and the main thing is if you're going to manage the resource changes. Okay, it will going to have all the historical changes which you have done in past. Okay, so it is good for doing the compliance thing. Okay, to make sure everything is going so far good. So you can see this image how config works. So it manages all kind of resources, then you evaluate and then simplify. This is how and where you can use the information provided by config. You can see these are your cloud and all the resources which are up and running, and then config is keeping track of everything, maintaining that inventory, and then putting all those information in S3, and some sort of changes being changed. So just going to, send those changes with the help of SNS to any appropriate team or take the action accordingly. So this is what it will gonna do, and from here you can get the dashboard and then see what are the changes is happening in your the resources which you have. Okay, so for example, these are the different things which you can consider, like EC2 security group attached to ANI. So it checks the security group that are attached to your EC2 or to ANI. Okay, and if it is compliant, then it's okay. If it is not compliant, it can send the notification to you. So this is what you can expect from the config rules, how it's going to help you. So these are all the default config rules which you can see right now. You can just search for config rules which are there, manage config rules. There are so many manage config rules out there. You can just check over here. This is all kind of config rules are there which you can take consideration. Okay, so this is what you can expect from services like AWS config. You can see this is how the cloud trail does the thing. As I mentioned before, like we can access the AWS resources three ways: through console, through SDKs, through CLI, and these are different services which we can use. So it's Cloudflare will going to record each and everything, and then it's gonna store inside the S3 bucket. If you want to send the notification through SNS, you can also do that. This is what Cloudtrail is used for. Then I've also already talked about WAF Shield, and Security Hub is a place where you're going to get the findings of everything together in one place. Again, I got some voice. Okay. So the security hub is also a great thing. Over here, whatever security services which you have used so far, you can put them together. Okay, it's just aggregate all the findings in just one place. So security hub, like from WAF, from guard duty, inspector, Messi, different places, just going to put together the centralized view, and then you can take the actions. So you don't have to go here and there. Every information is coming to one place. So security hub is something which we always go do. So these are the things which I've already shown you, which you can do after the session, the exercise, like create a IAM policies and then assign with role or user and see how whatever permissions you have given, is it able to perform that, and whatever permission you have not given, whether they are able to do so or not. So this is how you can test each and everything, and then enable MFAs for your root account and your IAM user, and block the public access. Like this is something which I have already shown in the previous video. You can also consider that one. And also I have shown you different options which you can go with through bucket policies and through ACLs. And not only this, we have seen different use cases for bucket policies. Okay, like if you want to allow some specific user or restrict specific URLs, the IPs, how you can do that. Okay, so you can just consider that particular doc file where I have submitted, share all kind of bucket policies. Now these are all the monitoring services like CloudWatch, CloudTrail, Config for checking each and everything. Just remember, monitoring is very much important. Like what we do, like in as individual, like in we always do the regular health checkups. And why we do regular health checkups so that uh, we know, like whatever, like for example, if you some disease happened to you, you go through some regular that medical checkups, and then you got to know about, oh, this thing is got spiked up, this thing is got low in value, so then you can take the action. Okay, but if you're doing the regular checkups, so you already knowing like how your body is responding and how your body going with, so you can take the action accordingly. So just like that, like this is for I'm saying for as a individual level, as in real world, over here in AWS or any other platform, it's very much important to perform the monitoring. Okay, because monitoring, what it does, is just like a health report of your infrastructure, of your application, whatever is running on top of that. So if you can see some sort of problem is happening inside your infrastructure, like one of the instances gets load average, very frequently, and why did this happen, and there are so many other things which you can get insight from. So through that report, through that dashboard, it tells a lot about the story, so that you can make the decisions and take actions accordingly. So these are the monitoring services which AWS offer, like CloudWatch, the CloudTrail, the Config, which I've already talked about, X-rays, and health dashboards. So if you see, uh, this is for example for X-rays. So X-rays, just like we have CloudTrail for tracking each and every API call, whatever you will gonna make in AWS, X-rays does it for the application level. So if you have an application based on microservice architecture, various services are there. So how that data that's flowing from one request to other service, so in order to track each and everything, how much time it is taking, so through this you can understand, like this microservice which is integrated uh, with some sort of database taking some time, so you have to improve there. Okay. For example, you see another services which is running some EC2 instances or running some functions, it taking some time. Before it was not taking, but now these days it started taking time to get loaded to do their task. So through X-rays you can drill down over there. So X-ray help you to visualize the request across the microservices of your application. It traces flow of request in serverless or container-based applications. It can help you to find out the bottlenecks or some sort of errors, like in Lambda functions, the API gateways, the ECC keys, or whatever. So this is what X-rays are used for, and it's very much important to use such services to enhance the quality, the performance of the whole application. Now, CloudTrail, I have already talked about how you can see the things over there, and the CloudWatch. Now, how you can use CloudWatch? CloudWatch is also very important services. You can just simply go over here inside the CloudWatch, where multiple things you can see. Like for example, you can see the metrics, you can see the log groups, you can see the alarms. Okay, for example, you can go to the metrics. For example, you can choose whatever uh, services you want to look for. For example, you just want to check the EC2, and over here I will look for 1 week. Again, 1 week for the each instances I have run. So over here I'm gonna check for you have to choose particular, just a second. Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, I got it. So over here, CPU utilization, for example, you can check for this particular one. I don't know the, because I'm not given the name of the instance, so it's very much difficult to understand which one it is. But let me show you how the things are going to look like. The data is not coming for this, which means uh, we have to choose another one. The instance which is coming over here is, let me just do one thing. Hmm. Choose any instance with the one which I have used previously. Uh, I hope in 3 months I have ran that thing or not. Okay, it's coming now. So on 17th of May, I have run this thing, and the CPU utilization was between something. So only one day I have used this. That's why it's just showing this way. So this will going to become more relevant, like if something is running for a long period of time. So here the thing is, like, I've not given the name for that instance, that's why it was not showing me the thing which I was looking for. But over here you can see, like, the CPU utilization informations, you can check it in this way. Okay. And Other than that, you can also check the EBS byte balance percentage, the read operations, the write bytes, how much, for the elastic block storage, the networking which is going inside your EC2 instances and then going outside. So all those metrics you can check it from here. Okay. Now, other than that, this is something you like over here is asking for you to add the query to the dashboard, and also if you want to create your own custom dashboard, you can do it from here. And other than that, I think inside log groups, I can show you the things. Inside the log groups, you can have multiple log groups. Let me search for something with ECS, for example, if I have one. ECS. um, yeah, this is ECS one, the this one. So over here, like for batch 9, I don't know, because over here I've used the ECS pretty long back time, but over here you can see all the log streams for that application which taken place over there. There's no log streams coming over here for this one. Sometimes what happens, because if you're not using that information for a long period of time, it also get deleted after some time. So it's pretty, the creation time was 1 year ago and the retention was only 1 day, so that data has been gone forever. So over here, uh, this is for 1 month. This is for something which will not going to be get expire. But glue is something which I've used very long back. Now over here, this is for coming for the build. The code build is one of the DevOps services of AWS, which we use it for, you know it's just like a Jenkins, if you know it, Jenkins or GitHub Action. So you just mention all those steps, and whenever something happen, like you make some changes to your application code, and then you make the push, and then it's just going to trigger this code build, and whatever steps you have mentioned, it's just going to automate all those stuffs. So you can see this particular information you can get over here, what exactly happened when that event happened take place. So just downloaded some images and then build some Docker image, and then after that, you just publish that Docker image, something like that. You can see pushing that Docker image to some places. So this is something which you can consider. Okay, how the things happen. Okay, we are not authorized to see this in this way. So over here, you can see all those piece of information is coming over here through this log event. So log event, what it does, whatever services you have created and whatever log it generated at that time, all those piece of information we're going to store over here. Okay. Now here comes the alarms. Now what alarm does, alarm helps you, like whenever certain metric hit, it will going to do some action, whether it will going to notify you through email, or if you're going to run some lambda function, or whatever it can be. For example, you can just click on create alarm, select metric. Again, you're going to choose, for example, EC2, and then we're going to choose CPU utilization, for example. Okay, so these are different CPU utilization things are coming up. I'm looking for, yeah, this is the one which I given the name. So let me just choose this one. And then here I'm just going to choose, for example, 6 weeks, and then select metric. So you can see uh, 1 week ago I have worked with that one. Okay, so this is something like this particular instance is going to just 6% sometimes, sometimes going six is average, something like that. So because I was not running such a big workload, so that thing is minimal. But still, if you're running something, some application where there's a load average is there, just to monitor, just to look after the CPU utilization. So in that case, what you can do, you can just set the alarm, like this is a metric name, this is the instance ID which I have selected, the stats which is going to check for after 5 minutes every. So the threshold, like if I'm going to set, if the CPU utilization goes more than 75%, it's just going to take action. Okay, so as soon as the metric hit the 75% of CPU utilization, it's just going to either send me notification through SNS. Okay, these are different SNS which I have created, and SNS can be connected to Lambda. SNS can be connected to other AWS services. It's just like it act as a mediator. Okay, so this is one way which you can consider. But CloudWatch also offer Lambda directly as well. So if you don't want to go with the SNS way, you can go and choose the Lambda function directly. If the CPU utilization of that instance goes above the 75%, then which Lambda function has to be run. So it's kind of event based thing gonna take place. So in that case, what you can do, you can create a Lambda function which will going to delete some processes to reduces the load average and then reduces the CPU utilization, something like that you can do. Or you can just simply auto scale your EC2 instances to take care of, because whatever EC2 instances are running is not that much capable of handling the traffic which is coming in, so we need to have more. So before reaching to their possible capacity, it's very much important to create another EC2 instances so that they can also balance the traffic. So this is what kind of things which you can add on over here, and then you can just click on next, and then you can provide a alarm name like CPU utilization more than 75 percentage, something like that, and then you can provide some messages if you want to, and then next. And then you can see this is a one threshold got created, and as soon as the CPU transition reaches the threshold, it's just going to send you the notification. The one which I have selected sends the notification. Okay, so this is what I have created, and right now no alarm is running. Right now in alarm you can see no alarm is coming up. All alarms you can see this is what different things is coming up. Action enabled, so if as soon as the CPU utilization goes greater than 75%, this will going to hit. Okay, and then comes the billing. So over here it can also help you to monitor the bill, like for uh month you can set some threshold. Okay, and then accordingly it can create the bill for you. This is called, we call it as a billing alarm. Okay, so CloudWatch can help you to monitor the charges on your AWS bill by sending you email alerts when it reaches that threshold, so that you can take the action. So over here there's an option known as billing and cost management. Over there you can see like whatever cost has been taking place. Like for example right now it's like for this month it's like $11, because my AWS doesn't comes under the free tier one. I'm using since more than 2 years, so that's why I have to pay for it whatever things I run. So over here if you go to uh, cost explorer, for example, if you go to the cost explorer, over here you can create a report of what services charges you what amount. Okay, and what is the average cost, what are the total services which you have run in that duration. So from here you can check it out, like for 3 months, for 1 year, for current month. So these are different things which you can check. Over here what I want to look for this particular month only now, for this particular year, so it's better to choose it from here. And till here I will gonna choose, that's it, apply. So in this year $42.85 being charged, and over here the average cost is like $8.57. Okay, total 21 services out there. And you can choose the services, you can apply the filters as well, like select all, or you can choose the services. Like for example I just want to look for EC2. Okay, select all. uh, Basically not all, only these things require elastic compute. And then you can choose elastic load balancer. Okay, these two things, and then apply. Then you got to know like about $8.68 they charge in that duration. Okay, so this is piece of information which you can collect from. Okay, now I'm going to remove this filter, all the information comes again together. So if you're going to scroll down a little bit, you're going to get everything information about. So $12 something is charged by EC2 and other. $6 itself is just a tax only. This is piece of information which you can get for whatever services I have run in that duration and how much they charge in this year, the current year. Okay, so this is something which you can do very easily. Okay, there are different filters out there, basis of services, basis of link account. I do have only one account, so only one thing is going to showing up. Then reasons. Okay, which reasons mostly I run in the US East region, so I don't have to look after other one. The instance type, the users type, the type group. You can choose different filters from. Okay, the ability zone, the database engines, whatever you can choose from here. And sometimes if you want to create the reports, you can create the reports also. It's very easy to create one. Okay, you can just go over here and click on new report. Okay, and after creating a report, these are the different types of reports coming up, like saving plans, utilization, saving plans, coverage. These are different reports are coming for. Okay, but here I just want to go with the this cost and uses report, the curve we call it in short. So we can go over here and click on create report. So this is what it will gonna create. Okay, this is the new report. You can make some changes accordingly and then take the actions. Okay, so this is what you can create a saved reports, and then you can have, this is all the saved reports you can see right now, which AWS create by itself. Monthly cost by services, monthly cost by link users, daily cost, AWS marketplace, all this information comes over here. Cost anomaly detection, like in which duration that some anomaly uh, is being seen. So for example, like 18th of May to 2025, and then 26th of May, like in this 90 duration, it impact this much of charges. Okay, so over here, sometimes, like most of the time, it is idle my account. So you can see having a 0.32 0.002 means a lot. Okay, high impact. So over here you can just detect the all kind of anomalies for past 90 days. From here you can check what are the services which are under free tier. If you're having the free tier account, you can monitor everything and the threshold. Right now my account is not under free tier anymore, so I will not able to check it for other things like EC2 and whatever. Okay, so it's very much important, EC2, S3, because those services are only free for 12 months. After that they charge, and these services which are coming over here is free all the time. That's why you can check it from here. And the data exports, if you want to take place. So these are different things which comes in, which you can do over here. Okay, which are all the part of the cost and uses analysis. Now you can just go to the bills, from where you can pay the bill payment. So this is not something which is very much important to consider. What else you can do is like, yeah, one thing is very much important, like over here for this particular month. Okay, it's very much important to monitor the unused thing. Okay, that comes under the cost optimization techniques. So in order to cost optimize, you have to look after, like, what are the things you are running on top of your AWS. Okay, sometimes what happens, like something which you have created, and they are not being used. They are just set idle in your AWS, and then just doing incurring the charges. So this happened to me. Okay, this particular week I've completely forget that I have created one load balancer and forget to delete one. So you can see that load balancer charged me 4.75 US dollar or something like that. So it ran for, I think, some around 211 hours, pretty long period of time. And so it's pretty, like in a day we have 24 hours, so I think just around 9 days something. So it ran. Okay, it's more than a week, and I forget to turn it off, and it charged me. Okay, so it's very much important, like, to look after the things which you have created but you're not using it. Okay, so if you're using the free tier account, there will be no such worries. But yeah, still, you have, there's a big numbers there for the threshold, but it's not a good practice to follow. Always look after whatever you think you have created, and have a best practices, like once the job is done, if that thing is not required anymore, just simply terminate that service. Okay, so for cost optimization, you can look after the cost explorer tool. You can look after the uh, what I say, there's one service which you can consider. I think, let's forget, I think the trusted advisor. These two services always make me confused all the time. One is compute optimizer, trusted advisor. So I think compute optimizer tells that story. So if you are running any unutilized, because now I have deleted, so it's not being seen over here. And yeah, this is just a recommendation. So over here inside the compute optimizer, it is going to tell you about any unutilized, EC2 instances, auto scaling groups, or volumes, lambda function, RDS or ECS running. Okay, so that you can take the action. Okay, so for this it is for compute optimizer. Right now data is not available because I have not ran that much. Okay, that whatever data is there is not sufficient to give you that piece of information. Trusted advisor tells you, gives you like what you can make it to have a proper cost optimization, have proper performance, have proper security. Just like somebody you have given a responsibility to do. Okay, it's just going to give you the recommendations. For example, it says like recommended action for this particular security groups, like 97 out of 1115. You're allowing unrestricted access to specific force. This is not the right thing, so you have to take action and then you know make sure it's not that big number should be there. Okay, or if you want that it should do that part, you can just go over here and then it's going to take place. So I don't want to do that because most of the things I whatever security groups I created is for all traffic for my instances. So I'm just going to make it uh just going to add a new task for me, so that's why I will go with this particular option. Then we have Amazon S3 bucket permission. So out of 34 and 7 buckets grants a global access, which means it's for publicly accessible, whatever things I have added. Because in that 7 buckets, of course, I have added some bucket policies, which does the same thing. So these are some recommendations coming for the security point of time. Okay, you see, this is for security. Other than that, mm, I am following the things, the suggestions. So like Amazon EBS public snapshot. Okay, so zero snapshot mark as public, which is good. Okay, and then Amazon artist public snapshot, again zero snapshot mark as public. MFA on root account, and these are some other things. Now the thing is like I'm using the what is it? The exact term is like the account which I'm using right now. Yeah, over here. Uh, Over here we can see like it's asking for upgrade. Okay, so there's a business account is there, and then there is the developer account is there. Okay, so there are multiple accounts are there, different plans are there to support. So right now the one which I'm using, the basic one, I'm using the basic one. Okay, I can also go with the developer one, the business one, the enterprise one, but for this I have to pay like $29 per month for developer account. Over here I will going to get access to 24 into 7 access to their customer services or different other things. And for business is like $100, enterprise is like $15,000, something like that. So over here you can see trusted advisor. It's just going to give you full set of checks, and over here it's just going to give you limited one, in this case which has happened to us. So only limited suggestions is being given to us, but if you go with the development account or other plans which they offer, over there you can see so many checks are there, and which is very much important. Like if you want to consider the cost optimization, if you want to consider the performance, if you want to consider security, the fault tolerance, all those things, this is very much important. Okay, like the recommendation which AWS is providing by its side, so you can take into the consideration. So if you want to look the definition where it says AWS trusted advisor, it says like it's a tool to analyze your AWS environment and provide recommendation to optimize the cost, improve performance, and enhance the security. So it's pretty important. Okay, it's pretty important, and I've shown you that if you want to have all the checks, then you have to go with the paid account. Okay, the developer account, the business or enterprise, which will going to charge you but give you different more informations. Same goes with the health dashboard. I could not show you the health dashboard because it's not available for me, but available for other, plans which you can consider. Health dashboard gives you all the information about your infrastructure, about the things which are running on your AWS. So this is something which you can check it from there. Trusted device is still a very powerful tool. So just remember, like you will going to work for some organization, and over there they're not going to have a basic plan. Of course this is going to have some business or enterprise plan, and over there you can do such checks very easily. Okay, trusted advisor is a very powerful services which you can see over here. Other than that, you got the compute optimizer, which gives you the information about like about the compute. That's why it says compute optimizer. It just optimize the compute, so it saves the money, and also it helps you to increase the performance as well. For example, like you're running the EC2 instances, so it's just going to see like what traffic coming in, what kind of processing taking place inside the EC2 instances. Okay, so if it is fully optimized, it's going to give you green check mark. If it is not, whatever, it's just going to give you different informations. And for example, if you go on with the on-demand service, on-demand pay model, the saving plan, the reserve instance plan, whatever, is just going to give you the insight, the recommendations which you can consider, like the right size. Like you are using T2 dot large, but it's not required. You can go with the T2 dot micro or T2 dot medium. So they're just going to give you some suggestions which you can consider and then take action. So if you see the diagram over here, I believe I have added one diagram about uh, I think I'm not at it. Yeah, over here you can see this is for compute optimizer. So you can see like these are different instance ID will going to come in. The findings are like over provisioned. You're using this c5.xlarge. This is something which is being charged per hour. The recommend tab is t3.large, and it's going to charge you like 0.0832. So you can just do the maths, how much money you can save just choosing the right instance type. And sometimes it's not like that. Like sometimes what happens, you don't know how much uh, the need of the instances require, because there are so many instance type AWS provide. You will going to get overwhelmed. Okay, what we say, when you have got too many option, you don't know what to decide, and then you can just go with random one. Okay, so such thing can be happen. So in that condition, this compute optimizer will be a right tool. Like whatever instances you're running, they're just going to look after, okay, for a long period of time, and then they're going to tell you like whether those institute instances are under provisioned or over provisioned. Okay, like for example, if any you're launched a T2 dot large, okay, and what happens, like although you thought like it is a uh, you know a instance type which can handle the traffic, but no, they are not able to handle the traffic. In that case, what you can do, you can just create you can just choose a little bit good size of instance type in that case. So such information can be seen very easily through this compute optimizer, what is over provisioned, what is under provisioned, and also they give you the information about like which instance type to choose from, and their recommended on-demand price. You can see this is just going to do the math, like 0.17 to 0.08, just half of it. So 50% cost, you're gonna save it. So it makes sense. Okay, same goes over here, like 0.192 to 0.126, not that much discount, but still there's discount is there. 0.17 to 0.832. So this is what you are getting the thing repeatedly. So this is what the thing will gonna look like. This is how you can see like 30% is under provision, 61% is over provision, and one is optimized. Okay, so this is for 13 instances which you have, and this is what you can expect. So again, compute optimizer is again great tool to consider. AWS compute optimizer. You can just go over here and it's going to tell you like it is going to give you recommendation to optimize the performance and the cost of your AWS resource. These are the benefits. Okay, and it's just going to resolve the performance issues. It's just going to help you to give you a preference which you're going to take care, like which instance type will be the right one, increase the recommendation savings, optimize, clean up unused. Yeah, there's one category is there, I believe so, which can help you. Yeah, over here, idle resources. So, for example, you're running some resources and you're not using it. So all those pieces of information are going to come over here also, and then you can take the action. Okay. So I believe I got the information about that auto that load balancer from here, but I don't know. I completely forget where I got that information that load balancer is running, and then I taken the action. I think I have taken that piece of information through bill and payment only, and take the action accordingly. But yeah, these tools will gonna help you to keep on track. You can that put this piece of information in some dashboard to look after and then take the actions. So compute optimizer, trusted advisors, they're super important tool which will going to help you to optimize your cost. Now, over here you can see, as of now we're talking about the security, we're talking about the cost, we're talking about the performance. So what are these? Like, these are different pillars. So what I'm going to recommend you, like after this session, which you can consider, which will going to help you a lot, which is to look after AWS well architected framework. Okay, now in this well architected framework you have six pillars to consider. Okay, so one pillar which we had just discussed, I think one, not many, we discussed about the cost optimization, we talk about the security pillar, then you got the performance efficiency pillar, the sustainability, then operational. So these are different things out there, different pillars out there, and it's very much advisable, like whenever you're working with AWS, and even in the certification exams like solution architect, the SIPs ops and the DevOps, such things will going to be appear, how to take good care of such thing. So well architect framework is something which you should be aware of. There are different tactics out there, different things out there which can be helpful to take action. Now the GitHub repo which I have provided, I think in one of the week I have given the all the notes which I have prepared by myself, and this is for different, for example, for operation, let me check you out and view the raw. So over here, so these are different things out there that how you can make sure, like, uh, is going to follow the operational pillar, operational efficiency. So make sure you can see the these are different steps are there: organization, prepare, operate, and evolve. So these are the four step strategies is there in operation, and if you go inside you're going to get more information about it. So the operation, what is operation is, operation is like whatever things are running, you have to look after them. Okay, and try to perform automation where it's possible. Okay, so that you can minimize the human error. Okay, and enable the faster restore and recovery process. Now what happens over here is like something you were running, and due to some external factor it is not running the right way, or it just gets stopped. Okay, something happened. So in that case, what happens? Like, there should be some automation script or some automation thing involved, which will go on and fix it immediately. Okay, so this is what operation excellency is meant for. Like, you just make sure, like, whatever things you are having, the things which are running. Okay, the things which are running is calls the operation and maintenance only. So everything is going in the right way. So this is what you can consider. Okay, and not only this, you are maintaining the proper SOPs to take care of some sort of thing happen, then you can take the action immediately. And you have a setup to look after the all the important metrics, logs, all those stuffs. So these are the things which you can consider. You're regularly evaluating the operational readiness and uh, putting some improvement all the time. Okay, uh, you can just doing the test and trial thing as well, you're experimenting something. So operation comes all those things like continuous improvement, performing post incident analysis to identify the lessons learned, which I said they maintain their SOPs, and then they share the information with the team and review them on the regular basis. So this is what comes under the operation excellencies. You have to look into it. There are so many other factors involved. Then cost optimizations, uh, over here, why is written WAF? I think by mistakenly I've written WAF over there. So over here, like how you can practice the financial management. So you have to make sure you're using the right tool to look after, track whatever uses has been taking place. So Cost Explorer is a very nice place. So which I have shown you. With the help of Cost Explorer, you can see and apply filters like which services is charging you more, which reason charging you more, which account is charging you more. All those piece of information can be checked very easily with the help of Cost Explorer. And what you can do, you can also take those data and through Amazon Athena and then create a dashboard that have a quick site to do a deeper analysis. Okay, so this combination will going to help you to do that deeper analysis. Then you can also track the uses and cost report, which I have shown you, to know what exactly things can be taking place. And look for those solutions which is cost saving. Instead of going on demand instances, you can go with the reserve instances, small instances. Okay, so these are different things which comes under the cost optimization technique. One more thing which you can do, like in free time, whenever you got the time, just write cost optimization technique, for example. And AWS offers different blocks which you can consider to look more important details about them. Like over here, 10 things you can do today to reduce the AWS cost. So cost explorer we have talked about. Okay, this is what we're going to see. Okay, that we can apply different filters which I have shown you, and this is the data which you can consider. Then it's going to help you to identify cost explorer. We're going to help you to identify the EC2 instances with low utilization and reduce cost by stopping right sizing. So over here you can use the uh, compute optimizer. In that case, here some other ways are showing up to take decision. So here also you can mention like compute optimizer is also mentioned. So these are different ways to look after low utilization instances, and then text take the step accordingly, stopping them or doing the right sizing. Then identify the ABS volume with low utilizations. So same with like EC2 low utilization, either stop them or right size them. And if for ABS also low utilization, reduce cost by snapshotting and then delete them. So these are different things out there which you can consider. Like for S3 also, you have to choose the right storage tier. Yesterday, I think in the very first session only, we had the uh, talk about the storage class. Okay, so if you see that particular ppt which I've already given over here, there one table will going to appear which is about storage class. So if some data is frequently used, then only choose the S3 standard. If some data is not being used so much frequently, only on some occasions you're using it, then you can go with the infrequent access storage class, and you can see it's just going to give you 1 terabyte price. So this is what you can consider to choose the right storage class. Okay, it's not like that randomly you are just going with the standard one. Okay, just to make sure like it's available anytime, but it's not like that. We don't need the all the data every time, every day. Okay, so you can just choose the right uh, storage tier for the S3. Okay, S3 infrequently access is preferred. Okay, and then also what you can do, you can also have life cycles policies as well. Like after some time, they can get back. Sorry, they can get automatically transition from one storage class to other storage class. That can be done. Okay, like AWS provides such features as well. You can just search in S3, and from there you can make that decision. Like you can, let me show you how you can do that. It's not that much tough. See, once you know the concept, implementing them is not that much difficult. Let me show you the bucket which we have created in this 3-day session. So AWS GFG session, and over here uh, the life cycle I was talking about. So you can just go to the management, and then inside the management there's something that says life cycle rules are there. You can just click on create life cycle rules, and over here you can just write a name like my life cycle rules, something like that, and then you can apply it to all the objects, or you can just limit. Now over here you can take the actions. Okay, like transition current version of object between the storage class, transition non-current versions. So if you have the versions files located into your S3 bucket, so that's why they are just asking you that piece of information. So it's your choice if you want to go with that. So you can just go with this transition current version, transition non-current version also. Okay, so these two things. So from here you can choose infrequent access after 30 days, for example, and then add the transition, and then you can just go to the um you can just go to the glacier. Like there are some other options available, but let me just go to the I can just go to one zone if you want to, like after 45 days, and after that you can just choose glacier flexible after 90 days. Okay, so this is how the data we're going to get transitioned. Okay, and then the same thing which you have to choose over here also. So object got uploaded, object moves to standard IA after 30 days, and then object moves to one zone IA, and then after that it goes to glacier, which is very, 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 very cheaper compared to the standard one. If you see the pricing, S3 storage pricing, you can understand it very well. S3 storage pricing, storage class pricing. So over there you can get that piece of information very easily, how much they charge. So if you go over here, this is for S3 standard. This is going to charge you 50 first 50 TB like 0.023. This is for S3 standard. Okay, now if you go over here for glaciers like 0.3 times 0, okay, which is a big discount. Over here is like 0.023. So here three zeros are there, okay, in place of that, and then the thing starts. So it's giving a big discount, okay, giving you a big discount. And then this is for other kind of glaciers. Again, two place zeros are there still. Here two place zeros are still there. So over here the overall thing is like choose a right storage class for the S3 to optimize the cost. It's pretty important, okay. So this is how you can do that. So for EC2 you have to choose the right instance type, okay, and delete them if you're not using them, or right size them if you it is over provisioned, okay. And then for S3 just choose the right uh, storage class. For elastic block storage, if it is not being used, just kept unused, then just simply make the snapshot, just take the backup of it, and then simply delete the elastic block storage, okay. And what else you can consider? So what else you can consider is like for RDS also, with low utilization, reduce the cost by stopping RDS or pausing the rest shift. There's one thing is good, like you can pause now, pause later, pause and resume on schedule. You can also set such things as well. Same with can be done through uh, trusted advisor for RDS. DB check, and if it is not used for last 7 days, you can get that piece of information over there, and then you can take the action. So such things are there, and for DynamoDB also you can do that kind of stuff, deleting the idle load balancer. So this is something for me. So it was running, and after that what happens, just charge me money. So over here just to remember, like anything which is idle and is running, just terminate them, okay. If you don't, they're just going to start charging you. Use EC2 instances to reduce the EC2. Yeah, one more thing. Not only this, the instance type, it is also very much important to choose the right purchasing model. I've shown you through the AWS calculator. You can just go over here and click on AWS pricing calculator, and click on create estimate, and you can choose whatever services you are looking into. For example, EC2 configure, and you can just choose the instance type, for example this one, the bigger one, okay. And then you can see, like if you go with the on demand, they're going to charge you around 159,432 US dollar. Wow. So you need to be a billionaire to take care of such thing. Now over here, if you go with the compute saving plan, the size goes reduced to half of, more than half of it. It's like 61,000. Here it is one, just 1 lakh. Wow, you just discounted 1 lakh US dollar. Same goes over here, 51. Now it totally depends upon like the duration. Like 3 year is pretty cheaper. If you go with 1 year, it's like 98. So this also depends. Now this is the compute saving, instance saving, and the spot instance is like going to give you more discount. So if you uh the instance type which I have chosen is like 0%, that's why we are not getting any discount over here. But if you go with other type, if you go with this one for example, which charges you to $30 over here, okay, which is 72% is historically, so you can just write 72% to check the thing. So what I will gonna do, let's just choose the higher value once again, and all this showing 0%, which is I'm showing you the how the things are going to look like. So 72% if you're gonna do it will be 44,000. So most cheapest one will goes with the spot instances. So this is recommended for fault tolerant and interruption tolerant application. So in that conditions, you can have the combination of both, like on demand with the spot instances to take care of the thing. So these are different stuffs which are coming in to check out the price of different thing. I think I've already shared this URL, but again I'm sharing if you're the new to this session. So over here inside the chat, I can share this thing. Okay. So let me just also read few messages which I got. Um, okay. So over here, I think we have discussed all the most of the thing which require anything else. Um, are there any certification or promotion? Okay, I think certification is might be there. Perfect. So I've not checked it, but somehow I have covered all the thing. Okay, I'm going to ask the GFG team regarding this about the attendance. Okay, no worries. I'm going to share this piece of information with them so that they can take the action. Okay, and let me share my screen once again. So this is how you can calculate the pricing and know the right, you know, instance type. Sorry, the right the the option. Okay, the purchasing option. Okay, so if you know like you're going to run for a longer period of time, so it's better to go with the long duration subscribe plan, just like a loyalty program which I told you before, and which can help you to reduce the price. Okay, and not only for this, you can also make the estimate for RDS also, S3 also, whatever. You can do it very easily using this one. Okay, so you can use the spot instances, review the auto scaling groups as well. So this is something which we have discussed so far. Use the compute saving plan. I've shown you how you can enroll for that. So also that you can set up the budget, like uh, like $10 is the maximum amount, and then after that the threshold you can set $10, and about 80% of that threshold just going to start giving you emails. Okay, so this is one thing which you can consider, and this is for more detail. So I believe like whatever techniques are used for cost optimization somehow I have told you, and from here you can see cost explorer, saving plan recommendation, EC2 spot instances sometimes gives 90% discount. Wow, that's great. Then a price calculator, compute optimizer. So this is something which we have already discussed about. This is S3 lifecycle, S3 crossing. So the way I've written AWS cost optimization, you can also write it for AWS operation excellency, operation excellence, and over here you're going to get the doc for it, and then you can work accordingly. This also help. See, offshore documentation you can consider. It gives you a lot of information and give you up to date the information. So here it says, as I said like before, in operation excellency, you have to try as much as possible the automation. Automation is a key over there. Okay, so if you see in operation, I have mentioned this thing very clearly, and again I am telling you over here the key is to maximize automation so that you can minimize human error and enable faster iteration. This is what is the main objective of operation excellency. So over here is like whatever operation you do manually, you try to do it with the help of code. So here one term which you should be aware of is known as IAC, infrastructure as code. Okay, so what it does is just going whatever things which we do, like we go over here and go to the EC2 instances, and then creating the instances through clicks, okay, or through code you can create one, or through command line you can create. But at the end, they are not the right way to provision or configure the infrastructure. Over here, it is very much important to use tools like uh, CloudFormation, which AWS offer. Okay, over here you can just search CloudFormation. This is a very powerful tool, and I will recommend you can explore this CloudFormation. Other than the CloudFormation, you can consider the Terraform, one of my favorite tool, which helps you to automate the whole process of provisioning the infrastructure. So if you see, for let me just check it out for this one, for example, and over here. And so this will going to show you the diagram. So you can also drag and drop to create the whole script. You don't have to write even. If you see, there's a the whole template is there, so you don't have to write everything. You can just open the composer, put the things together, and then do the things. You can see you got the different components, design it, and then take action. This is how the things are going to look like. So inside the VPC, I need all this thing, and then I need a ECS, which is running inside the VPC, and this is a whole code for that. So it's pretty long. Okay, so it's better to design through this canvas, and then so we just drag and drop. Okay, drag and drop does the thing, and it is a part of operation excellence. So just explore this thing a lot. Okay, it's pretty important to know about all those things, the operation excellence. Okay, so this is what you can consider. Perform operation as code, then make frequent and small reversible changes. This is what DevOps is. Okay, you make the changes frequently, small increments does the thing. So it follows somehow Kaizen principle. uh, Kaizen, I believe Kaizen is something which we do. Kaizen is like continuous improving one step at a time. This is what Kaizen is. Now, after that, once you got the procedure, it's very much important to refine as well. If some sort of error happen between them, you can just improve them on the regular basis. Always anticipate failure. Okay, so being skeptical, like whatever things are running will not going to run tomorrow, so just think accordingly and plan for it. Okay, do the simulation. If something went wrong, then how you can take the action. That's why we have our DR activities in our organization, in our companies. What is the DR organization? DR activities, which is the disaster recovery activities, just to check whatever things they're thinking, like in some disaster happen, and then what action they're gonna take in. So because in disaster, like your whole application is not running, is unable to process the user request in the disaster condition. So over there, what happens, you already have the disaster recovery script. You have already things set up. So in that case, what you can do, you can just you know just go with that technique, that go with that whatever things you have already selected, chosen, build, and just implement them. Okay, because as long as your system is compromised, your application is not able to handle the incoming traffic, this is just going to compromise the whole business. Okay, so it's very much important to take the action and then you know move forward. So it's very much important, anticipate failure. Okay, being paranoid is also makes sense. See, a lot of people will gonna say paranoid is not a good thing. Okay, but what I will say, like, for every good businessman, entrepreneur, or whatever, anybody, any case, being paranoid is going to help you to be extra precautious, to take the action. Okay, like they know like this will going to be happen, they can take the action. They don't go into the panic attack. Now what we have to do, what we have to do. So it applies everywhere, like, and you are in college, or you are in any working as a in a job, anywhere, in your family, and living with your family, like, think about the prepare for the worst, as I say, and hope for the best. So this is what you can apply in real world life as well. Now, learn from all the operation failures, learn from all the mistakes. So this is what we apply the principles as an individual, like learn from the mistakes, the mistake which we did, the mistakes which others did. Okay, so this is what is. So what I did, I just given the quotation of the principle which we should follow in real life. So it's like, uh, learn from the mistake, uh, be skeptical, be paranoid, then always improve. Continuous improvement is required. The kaizen, small and regular improvement, and automation. Yes, automation also very much require. And automation in real world, what I would like to recommend you, because AI thing is happening, and it's everywhere. AI first thing is considered, so it's very much important, to adapt those changes, okay, and put AI into the workflow. Okay, the things which you do by yourself from scratch, you can do it with the help of AI. Okay, so this is something which you can consider, and it will not only save your time, but it allows you to think something innovative. Okay, so if you know how to write the algorithms, yes, it's good, but sometimes what happens, we miss something out, we need another perspective. In that case, AI will be very much beneficial. And like the services which I have mentioned about guard duty, Messi, what they are doing, it they are just using some sort of machine learning algorithm to give you all the insights, all those findings, so that you can take the actions on the basis of that. So AI is something which is everywhere. Okay, so this is what you can understand. So this is 4 points which I mentioned, the four practices. So I just make the summary of this whole paragraph into one file. Now, other than that, you have the security. Uh, Let me just open security and cost optimization, and other two you can see after the session. So security, as I said, strong identity foundation should be there. So identity management is important. Okay, and very started in starting, I've said this thing. Implement LPP as much as possible. Use IAM role for short-term credentials. Use IAM user if you need a long-term credentials, and use a proper, what is LPP. Apply MFAs, rotate the access keys. This is something which we have already discussed about. And then we talk about the monitor, how you can monitor, how you can set the alerts, how you can audit with the help of CloudTrail. Okay, with the help of CloudWatch, Matrix. So all this piece of information which we have learned, which we have seen, we are actually seeing them over here. Now apply security at all layers. So as I mentioned, apply security at network level, the VPC. Okay, and also you can set up the security group, the NACL. Okay, and then you got the instance security. At instance level, you're doing the firewall thing, and then in the application, you're applying the firewalls like WAF, web application firewall, and also having the shield which protects you from DDoS attacks. So this is what you can consider. Protect data in transit and rest. We talk about the encryption. We talk about how KMS can be helpful to do so. Keep people away from the data. Okay, so use the secret manager, all those things. So this is something which you should follow for security purposes. Okay, and identity access management, which we have already talked about, and then detection, which we had talked about with the help of CloudTrails, API, AWS API calls, the guard duty. We have discussed somehow everything. So this session is not only for not just a normal thing. You also somehow get prepared or well architected, which will going to helpful while going for any certification of AWS, or like the solution architect one, whether associated professional or any other professional level certification. The VPC we had talked about, the VPC flow logs are going to help a lot. Now data protection, and then you have to yes, I talk about the share responsibility model. So AWS will going to take care about the hardware thing, the hardware level, and you have to take care about the the data level, the customer data you have to take care of. So this is something which you can consider, and these are the different services which you can use it for different purpose. Incident response, so this is what we have seen about the security. I think we have spent a lot of time in security, that's why all the points are somehow fulfilled. Then over here in the cloud financial management, we have even gone with that 10 points to consider. So over here also is somehow completed. Remove the Stop spending money on undifferentiated heavy lifting. So remove all those, uh, instead of doing by yourself, just you can uh, outsource those tasks to cloud service platform. So this is what all kind of stuff which we have already discussed. You can just get into it, like call explorer, Amazon, anything on the combination which we already talked about. So just give a read on all these documents. Okay, it's not a big deal, it won't take that much of time. Okay, and look also other frameworks as well, the other pillars as well. Okay, the performance, the reliability. Okay, so these are something which you should take care of. Okay, all the things which we have mentioned. And what else we are left with? Just go over here and okay, let's see what else we are left with in slide. Okay, so we were over there. So we already talked about this saving plan, right sizing, pricing model, create rail, CloudWatch alarms, cost allocation. Now this is something which is a good practice to do, but most of the time I also avoid. But this is something which you should consider. Like whenever you create any resources in AWS, always make sure to add some tags over there, which helps you to track the uses of particular category of work. Okay, so tags are very much useful, which can helpful in doing the budgeting. Okay, and then you can take the action accordingly. Cost explorer, we have seen that. Budget alert, right sizing. Trusted advisor, we have already talked about. Cost explorer, we have talked about. So these are the things which I have discussed, the well architected framework and the disaster recovery strategies. There are four strategies are there which you can also see after this. uh, Four strategies are there. One is warm standby, one is the backup restore is the basic one, where what happens, you take the regular backups and when suddenly some disaster happens, you just restore with that the already tested, well tested, the strategy, the automation script, whatever you have set for. So this thing works a lot. Okay, then there's something pilot light is there. So over here you can see all the images which going to help you. For example, if something wrong happened to one of the reason, so if you have other reason where you have already taken the backup, you can start the restore process very quickly, very easily. This is the image which you can see. For Amazon S3, you can have a backup in multi-region. You can do it very easily. For Elastic Blocks volume, you can take the snapshot and then keep the snapshot in the S3. For EFS, you can just do the backup through AWS backup. And then for RDS also, you can create the snapshot. So snapshot just whatever things are there, just take the snapshot right there, and then you can restore from there. And then for this one, this is whole process showing how you can do the restoration process. The pilot light is something which you can do over here. For example, uh, Route 53 does the DNS work. So over here, like this one is active. Okay, this one is active with fully, all the services. The Elastic Load Balancer is there, auto scaling group is there, the database is also up and running. Everything is going on and on. Okay, but one thing which you are doing side by side, you have another reason where the same thing is there, like Elastic Load Balancer is there, but they are not in running state. Okay, like auto scaling group is already configured. Okay, but no instances is running. Okay, and a replica is being copied all the time with the help of global database. So if something went wrong is one of that reason, they can just switch. The traffic which is going over here actively is just going to stop that traffic going to this Elastic Balancer. They're just going to shift that traffic over here, and as soon as the traffic hits, the auto scaling group will going to start creating the instances and start handling the upcoming traffic. So pilot is very much cool thing. And other alternative of pilot is the warm standby, which have the same exact thing, but one instance at least they are running, so that they can quickly respond like something went wrong over here. So that they are having one something running. Okay, and you can have other kind of strategy which is multi-site, like active mode. like some 90% traffic going to this region, 10% traffic is going to this region, which means everything is running perfectly fine. And something went wrong to this region, they can just simply run, make this thing completely active. Okay, so this is a strategy. Just give a look, just read about them. This is something which is very, very much important to know about. Okay, like disaster recovery, tactics, the well architected frameworks, the share responsibility model, which I've already talked about, the BCP, the business continuity plan. So this should be fundamentally clear, so that at the time when you design the workload, to be run on AWS, that whole services, all those stuff, there will be no such confusion. You already know, like, oh, this services does this thing, I can do it with the help of this way. So once the concept is clear, implementing it very much can be done very easily. But it should be implemented the right way also. Okay, just creating the EC2 instance is just not a tough thing. You can create one, but how that EC2 instance is run in a way that it can handle a large traffic, this is the first thing which you can consider. Second thing, it should not charge me high amount. Okay, it should be up, some sort of cost optimization technique applied, so that just charging the how much they are being used. Okay, that much. And the third thing is like it is well secured. Fourth thing is like, uh, something went wrong, disaster happened, you can restore it very quickly. So this question comes in your mind while designing the things, not like that just simply deploy the application, that's your job is done. No, it is pretty easy thing, and it's replaceable. So just understand the principles. Okay, and then take and then design the everything, and then run them on the AWS platform. That's the thing. Okay, so other than that, what else you can consider is, which I've already, I think, covered basically. So the overall topic for today's session is all about AWS security, monitoring, and cost optimization. The best practices, we have discussed all of them, and we have even discussed some additional things as well. So this after the session, just make sure, uh, take the help of official documentation, which gives you a good amount of information. Use AI if you're writing some script, making having some trouble while writing them. Use it to solve them out. Use see, before ChatGPT era or AI era, we used to, the Stack Overflow and the Quora. But now it takes some time to look after the issues and take action. So if you're having such tools, you have that advantage to save your time and build something more and more. So just go in that way. Okay, so this is what you can consider. So that's for all for today's live session. And before ending the session, I will just go and look after uh, the the chat, and then um, yeah, I can see the chat, and over here everything is going to be get covered. So yeah, everything is now covered, whatever being asked. And last time I'm just sharing you my GFG the repository, which where I have taken all the information from. Okay, and other than that, I'm also sharing you LinkedIn, like in case you need any other help, you can just use that one. Okay. Amazon Lex, I'm unable to access draft version areas. Please sort it out. Can you just share me the whole with intent information how you're doing with, and share me the screenshot, because over here I believe because it's just going to take a lot of time to explain it over here. You can just message me on the LinkedIn. I will be happy to help you out everything. Okay, Prashant. I hope it works for you, because that problem is very much specific. So that's why. In just to conclude the whole session, that's why I'm skipping it aside. You can just simply text me with the screenshots, whatever error message coming in, and I will be happy to help you out over there. So that's for all. Keep learning, keep exploring, stay motivated, and see you soon. Okay. Yeah, sure, sure. I will going to talk about the about the attendance. Okay. I got the image, Prashant. Thanks for sharing the image. Can you just send me a message so that I can proceed further with that? Okay, because I have to look much more thing. Okay, over there. Lex is something which I built for my virtual customer care, like where somebody will going to say something, then transcript will going to convert it into text, then Lex will going to take care of the queries, the keywords, and then after that, uh, comprehend whatever tools you have used additionally, and then Poly will going to just simply transform the text to the voice. This is something which I built before. I have to just revise a little bit about Lex because some interface has been changed. So you can just simply, share the message over there, and then I will be happy to help you out over there. Other than that, if you have any doubts regarding the AWS and whatever, you can just check me out over there. That's for all. And keep learning and stay motivated and be confident. Do practice as much as possible. Apply Kaizen principle. Apply all those operation excellence principle which we have discussed today. So that will gonna work a lot. So best of luck to everybody, and signing off. Bye. Take care.